It's time to focus on the things you need, the things you deserve. You deserve a healthy body, supplements that get you moving and keep you moving, that make you feel good, look good, do good. And they shouldn't contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, or heavy metals, ever. Supplements that are clinically studied, use proven absorption technologies, are designed by scientists, and are ethically sourced and produced. Supplements with everything you need, nothing you don't. You deserve a company that you can trust, that's dedicated to safe manufacturing practices and third-party testing, that ensures the highest quality of effectiveness from extraction of ingredients all the way to the composition of the packaging. Wait a second. You deserve to see the process. You deserve a company led by a CEO with a deep belief in the power of people, dedicated to inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve success. A company with a phytonutrient chemist and expert on natural molecules who is obsessed with human health and has your best interest in mind to design its products. A board comprised of talented doctors from around the world. You deserve to be surrounded by people you trust and look up to. Empowered ambassadors that inspire wellness every day. Leaders who are rooting for you to be the best version of yourself. A community that works hard and plays hard. You deserve to experience adventures that take you around the world. And you deserve to be recognized for your hard work. It's time to get what you deserve. It's time to shift your focus. 3.
Good evening, everyone. I am Christine Peterson, just outside of Aspen, Colorado. Welcome to Empowerment Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Just a little about my background. I'm excited to share about this wonderful industry and the wonderful company that we have. And tonight's subject is going to be what it takes to get to the top. I've been in the industry for 42 years. Previously, I was a teacher, taught school for many, many years, and I was tired of being poor. And then someone introduced me to this industry, and I said, why not? And joined one of the top direct selling companies in the world, and very fortunate, built a great organization throughout the world, and I had a great career. I've been in the industry for 42 years, and I love it, love it, love it. As I moved over to Aspen in the last year, I had many people trying to recruit me into a new company because my old company said I had to retire because I turned 65, but don't despair. They bought my business out. And so I thought, well, I have everything I need. Why don't I just sit here and enjoy the moment? But you know what? Warren Buffett is still working, and you never want to look back. You want to look forward and keep on living and make an impact on people's lives. And that's why I love the industry so much. So I have companies every day. This is kind of a lesson too. I have companies every day, not every single day, but every week, trying to recruit me because I'm an industry leader. And I said the only reason I'd ever come out and join a new company would be for 3 reasons. Number one would be if it was a new company, because I know that's where the opportunity is. But you know what? It has to be well funded and have great leadership and vision for the future. Otherwise, it could be out of business in 2 years. Secondly, I said, what would I want my business to be this time? And I want to be in the supplement industry. Absolutely, because in 2020, the supplement industry was $60 billion. And in 4 more years, it'll be $128 billion. So of course, that's the kind of industry and the product that you want to be in. But as we know, not all supplements are the same, and most supplements are manufactured in 2 to 3 big companies in the world, and they're all about the same. They get about 10 to 30% absorption, not really regulated too well, and about 83% of what you see in the bottles is not inside. And I said, oh, I would never want to attach my name to that. I would only want to be with a credible company that was science-based. And third, I said, if I'm going to come out and build a business, I want to make a lot more money. Yeah. If I'm going to put all that time into this and help other people rise up and create a new organization. So thanks to Amy Dunlap, she reached out to me and told me about this wonderful new company. And I said, oh my gosh, this is everything I'm looking for. So I am so excited to even be sharing here tonight. I love our industry. And that's the first thing I want to say. You know, it says, what does it take to go to the top? Number one, you have to believe in your industry. You know, this is a $200 billion industry. And by the year 2032, it'll be over $400 billion. It's bigger than the NFL and movie industry combined. But, you know, there are all kinds of different companies. And of course, we know we have the best, don't we? And we're breaking records and so excited. Just in our first year, we all know the statistics that's been going on. But I'm here tonight to help you think about, how do you build fast? How do you build a big, big organization? You see, you can either go slow or you can go fast. And I choose to go fast. But what industry are you really in? I'm going to pull this book up and I want you all to see it. It's called The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. And I want you to understand exactly what business that you are in. The biggest popular misconception about network marketing is that it's a selling business, but selling is just earning more income. The problem is, if you stop the activity, the income stops. People often assume that being successful in a business means great at sales. But the point of network marketing is not to become great at selling a particular product or a service, because no matter how good you might be doing that or at that, let's be honest, if you're like most people, you don't think you're very good at it, and there's only so much income you can earn selling. After all, there's so many hours in the day, right? In network marketing, the whole point is not to sell a product, but to build a network, an army of people who are all representing the same product or service to share with others. The goal is not for you or any other individual to sell a lot of product. It's for a lot of people to be their own best customer, sell and service a reasonable number of customers, and recruit and show a lot of other people how to do the same thing. So, and here's the reason you want to build an army of independent representatives. Once you do, you know what you'll have? An asset that generates income for you, passive residual income. And so I understood that a long time ago. Some people didn't. And I'm here to share you some tips of how I built a multi-billion dollar company and earnings. So first of all, let's talk about the things that won't help you get to the top. All right. What's the things that stop you from even building an organization? What are the things that are going to stop you from making a lot of money? One, being an expert on the product. Number one, you never want to be an expert on the product. That's not your job. Your job is to build leaders in an organization and passive residual income. And frankly, you make your job look too hard. If you become this expert on every ingredient, every product, everybody goes, oh my gosh, I could never do what you do. You're too smart. I don't think this is for me. Use the tools. We have the 3 app. Use the tools, send the videos out, make your job look easy. That isn't your job. That is the corporation's job, to support you. So secondly, another thing that stops you, start and stop. Start and stop. How many times you get all excited, and new people do this? They start, they run out. I'm so excited. I'm going to get this. And they get a couple of recruits, and then some stop ordering or they drop out. And then you go, oh, I don't know if this is for me or not. and then you stop, and a week goes by, 2 weeks go, and then someone accidentally comes across your path, and you talk a little bit about it, and then you get excited again. We're either on a high or a low. There's no in between. But the start, stop will be the killer of your business. When they say consistency is the key to success, it really is. And let me tell you, when you're dealing with a binary, binaries love speed. This is important because the faster you go and move out and start building a business, people start following you. Yeah, nobody follows a parked car. So if you say to people, oh, I'm just getting started, I'm not too sure, I'll see how it goes. What do you think? People don't follow you because you're not really acting like you're a leader. So you want to act, first of all, as if you are going someplace and that you are creating a movement. People want to be part of a movement. And building one customer at a time takes forever. Now, here's the secret. The greatest leader of all builds the most leaders. Absolutely. And why would you want to build leaders? And who is a leader? How do you find out who they are? What are their characteristics? And why is it important to be enrolling and leading with the business? Did you hear me? Leading with the business, because we're all going to use the product as personal users. But I think sometimes people always say they lead with the product instead of the business. I lead with the business. And then they say, well, what is it? And I say, it's our supplements. And then I'm able to go in there. Why do I do that? Number one, do you realize just in the last month, 100,000 IT people have been laid off? You are now in the IA generation. We're like really making history. This is like at the beginning of the 18th century when the Industrial Revolution started and the 18th century yeomen got left behind. We are in history. Millions and millions and millions of people are going to be laid off, and they are looking for a new opportunity. So I always lead with the business. And then if they're not interested, they say, well, I would just like to try the product. I win either way. But if I only talk about the product, perhaps they're not interested in the product at that moment, but they're looking for another opportunity to create another generation of wealth. So your goal, I don't even want you to think about two. We know in the binary, you get one on the right, one on the left to start your business. But I want you to start thinking 10. 10 is magical. I want you to think about finding 10 great leaders. This is how you move your organization. This is how you move fast. This is how you create multiplication so much faster. And when you get those 10 people, we're going to put 5 on the right, 5 on the other side. And why do we do that? Because we're going to put 5 on the common leg, 5 in your private leg. And then those 5 people, you duplicate and teach them to do the same thing. So they're all helping each other to build that common leg on each side. Then they go in and build their private leg. And they can move faster and quicker. Now, one good leader, get this, one good leader will bring in over 1,000 people. Yeah, a good leader will do that. So imagine that you're building your board of directors. We're pretending it's not really a board of directors, but it's your business, and you want the very best people on your board, don't you? So pretend you have 5 on this side and 5 on this side. One good builder will bring in over 1,000. So how many people does that make? That makes 10,000 people that can start moving out quickly. And now we have what we call an attraction principle. Everyone attracts who they are, not who they want. So let's kind of go back to that in just a second, but let's look at some of the qualities that you're going to look for in a leader. Instead of just focusing on one customer at a time, I want you to be focused on building leaders. It'll be so much easier. This is actually working smart, not hard. Okay. Now you're going to look for go-getters. Who's a go-getter? A go-getter gets the most done. Absolutely. They could be somebody, they are all walks of life. They could be a housewife that's in charge of the block parties. She's the one that takes a charge of everything going on in the neighborhood. She rises up to the occasion. It could be the PTA president. It could be someone walks into a party. Have you ever seen it? Someone walks in, they have this posture, and everybody gravitates to that person. That person has influence. Those are great leaders because they know lots of people, don't they? And people like to be around them. They want to be in their circle. And so you want to look for people that are influential. Look for volunteers. Have you ever been, even in your churches or meetings somewhere, and people say, we need some volunteers. And you have 2 or 3 people raise their hand. Everybody else kind of sits there. That is a leader. That person's not afraid of work. I would talk to them. They're willing to step up to the plate. So they are willing and eager to be part of something greater and to be of help. So those are the kind of people you want as leaders. You want someone with charisma, someone that's happy, nice, excited. You don't want to be looking for people grumpy and looking around just like, you've seen them. The great thing about this business, you get to choose who you want to work with. And I choose not to work with those people. I want happy, excited people on my team as leaders. And they have energy. People that have energy. I look for people that walk fast. Have you ever noticed in the mall, some people are walking, or they're moving out, they're moving here and there. Oh, I want those people. If you're in Starbucks and you see somebody, they're walking in, they're walking fast in and out. But if you see somebody just sloughing along, just barely making it, you know what? That's the way they're going to do their business too. They're slow. I don't want slow people. I want fast people. I want people that are hardworking. I want people that want to make a difference in the world. And I put them in my hip pocket. They walk fast, and I look for people who have grit. Grit, yeah. No matter what happens to them, they get up and they do it again. They fall down, they get up again. They did a whole book and a whole lesson on people with grit. It wasn't their race, their color, their language, their background, but it was, there were people that were smarter. There's people smarter than me. My husband has a Harvard MBA. I don't, but I have grit. Do you know what I'm saying? I get up no matter what. I find a solution. I find a way no matter what. And so you're looking for those people that are energetic, that say, we're with you. Let's go. Let's create the movement. I don't want any slow snails. I want fast bunnies. I want people that are moving out. I want race cars, And as I said earlier, nobody follows a parked car. So you've got to go into action immediately. And when you start getting those 5 people on each side, this binary takes off. And then suddenly we have what we call an attraction principle. Yes. Now, if you write down on a piece of paper, this is who you're dealing with now, and you have to know so you won't get discouraged. First of all, write on your piece of paper 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I want you to put a line up 8, 9, 10, and then kind of go down from 8 to about 3 or 4, draw a line there. Those leaders, those 10 leaders will attract 8, 9s, and 10s like themselves. Now, 8, 9s, and 10s can recruit anywhere down to the 1, 2s, and 3s, because 1, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s always want what the 8, 9s, and 10s have. So if you have recruited a leader, that person can attract another leader who will bring in another 1,000 people. Actually, if they bring in another 1,000, there may be 3 or 4 people in that 1,000 that could bring in another 1,000 people each. And your numbers start growing. It could be 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000. And sometimes people say, how do they make all that money? You know what? They just have more people. That's all. When you really realize they just have more people, they're not any different than you. They're just energetic. They want to make things happen. They just have more people, and they understand the power of attraction. So now they recruit other people, and this becomes the power of quantum numbers. And when you realize this, you can save yourself a lot of time rather than doing one customer at a time. Let's go for the leaders. Look for the ambitious people. And with this AI laying off millions of people, let me tell you, there's 10 people for everybody on this call to get going. There are millions in the world. And aren't we excited that we are in a global e-commerce business? And we don't really even sell. We actually get paid for connecting, and we get product introduction bonuses, and we get connected for linking people in the world. How easy is that? We're right on time. Thank you, Daniel and Kim and Samson and all the great leaders, and Amy, who are leading the cause and really setting everything up for all of us to be successful. But now we have to do our part, and we have to find those 10 people. Can you get 10 people? Of course you can, but you're going to go through the numbers, and maybe you're not a race car right now, but you can. So now you've got to take the posture, and you've got to kind of fake it till you make it. You've got to pretend that you are that person. You have to just kind of step out and say, I'm excited. Stand up. Your posture, excitement. People will feel that. They'll feel your raw energy of who you are. What are you doing? But if you're meek or timid, I'm just so excited. I'm just started something new. I'm not too sure if this was going to work out. Well, but would you be interested in even trying my product? No. You're not acting like a leader. So now you have to act like you know what you're doing, so people will follow you. And they go, wow, and get fired up. Are you fired up? If you can't get fired up, then you need to turn some high-powered music on every morning to get you fired up. Flash dance, you can do it, whatever. Get that music going. No classical music during the morning. You need to have high energy to get you going, to fill your funnels of new people, that you're going to talk to 10 new people, because you are processing, meeting people, because the more opportunities that you do, the more money you make. And you always bring your people to your leader, even if you're new, especially because you don't know what to say. You don't have the credibility. Get your ego out of the way. Even if you were a vice president of some other company, you have to learn this business, and then you can take it over. But you need to follow the system. It works. Follow your leader. She or he knows what they're doing. Get fired up. Act like you have the golden egg. You do. You have the golden egg right now. Everybody's looking for a job. Those eagles are looking. Yeah, those are the leaders. Eagles fly way up in the sky, and they look down on the chickens down there that are scratching and chicken and afraid to step out of their comfort zone. Yeah, here's the deal on the goals. This is really interesting. This is done by Harvard study. 1% of Americans, and probably most of the world, write their goals down, and they look at them every single day. 3% don't write them down, but they keep them in their head. 67% of people in the world daydream, and 29% have no goals at all. Okay, so what does that tell us? You're dealing with 96% of people that are going to maybe reject you, or they're not ambitious, they have no goals, they're just daydreamers. How many times have you heard, well, that would be so great. Yeah, I would like this. They write something, goal down, and then they never do anything. So again, who are you looking for? You're looking for the 1% and the 3%, the people who have grit, the people who are leaders, the movers and the shakers, the ones that have influence, who will bring in 1,000 for you. And then they will attract other people that are just like themselves. And this organization grows. And then one day you walk and says, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with it. And you think, wow. And I love the binary, because it's never, I mean, yes, you always look for the leaders, but accidentally, one of your people is going to bring somebody in that you didn't even expect. It's not who you bring in necessarily, it's who your people bring in to infinity. And you can reach down and work with them, and all of this volume counts. And then you start putting them in your hip pocket. I spend 80% of my time on that top 4%. Yeah. I love all my people. And I do, because everyone is part of the greater whole. Everyone's ordering the product, and I want them active ordering that product every month, because that's a passive residual income. And, I will say to people, hey, by the way, do you have a Netflix account? Yeah. Subscription? Okay. Do you have a satellite dish subscription? Yes. I said, well, now it's time to have your health subscription. You can't watch those movies if you don't feel good. And they get it. I want them ordering every month for years. And imagine how this volume grows, and the potential of earnings is unbelievable. Don't think small, think big. But the most important thing that I can impress upon you on how to really build your business is, again, to work smart, not hard, build momentum, be consistent, and do 10 Zooms a week with new prospects, using the global calls, using your leader, because I'm going to tell you, numbers never let you down, but people do. Yeah, and they will. And while you're on your journey up here, and you've told everyone you're building a movement and you're going to build all these leaders, they're sitting back. And I want to tell you, the family and friends are always the worst, and so certain things I've learned over the years as I was building, and I know Kim and Sam, so we've all experienced it. They'd say, oh, how's that going now? And then when I was in my first company, I was making 80, 100,000 a month. And people would say, old relatives, and people would say, oh, are you still doing that other company? And I'd go, yeah, I am. They had no idea that I was making millions of dollars. And I just smiled. I said, it's just great. But along the journey, as I was building, people would say, oh, well, I wouldn't do that MLM. And in fact, when someone says to me, oh, is that an MLM? I go, yeah, isn't that the greatest? Do you realize it's a $200 billion company? I'm so glad you know about this. Oh, I know you would want to be open about here about this new company in the networking, and they go, oh, you see, I'm not defensive. I'm proud to be a networker. I'm proud because I've changed millions of lives in this industry. I've been in 42 years. I've created six-figure earners, multiple six-figure earners, and I That is my legacy. And I want you to think about this. This is not about you. This is bigger than you. I don't have to work now, but I've come out of retirement to build another organization to help my people to become successful. And when you realize this is not about you and focus on your people, that top 4%, the 80%, the top 20%, and put all your attention there, but always love your people, you will become highly successful. And again, if they say, oh, I just wouldn't do it, they try to rain on your parade, just pop up your umbrella. Or if you had a bad day and you came in with your husband and your husband is not real supportive, or your wife, vice versa, or your spouse, they may say, well, how did it go? And you go, unbelievable. Well, it might have been an unbelievable day. Maybe it wasn't so good, but they can interpret that any way they wish. Unbelievable. You have to use keywords to keep yourself up, because it takes 9 positive thoughts to wipe out 1 negative remark. And so the minute you do have a negative, you know what? You just go to the next, the positive, the positive, the positive. And then you're on a high again, aren't you? And you just don't ever allow anyone to spoil your dream. But it's just, listen to me again, just focus on getting 10 great leaders who are charismatic, who have grit, and put 5 on one side, 5 on the other, and start building those teams down. And do it fast. Fast is easy, slow is hard. Be the cheerleader for your group. Recognize success with your team. I meet with my team almost every day for a half hour before Amy starts on her training. What's going on? Where are you? What are you doing? Start your own little team, but always look to the leadership, because you always follow the leader. I respect Amy Dunlap and Amy, and we all respect Kim and Samson, because this is very important to always follow the chain of command. The way you treat your leader is the way your people will treat you. Maybe you don't understand when you're building these leaders and we've got these people going on and things are moving so fast, and you're going like, oh my gosh, maybe I could do it better, or you had some disappointments. Now you don't want to follow your other leader, and then you say something to your people. Your people now treat you the same way that you treated your leader. So you always have respect for the leadership, just as they do in the military. Think about it. They have an officers club and they have an enlisteds club. And there's a reason for that. And they always, when they go to war or they're going into some sort of special meetings, everybody has respect. And something else, when you're building your organization of 10 great leaders, this is important. Even if you don't agree, you just absolutely, someone says something negative to you, you just say, well, maybe I don't understand it, but I'm going to go ahead and follow anyway. And if you do have a frustration moment, you never tell your people below you while you're building, because you look weak. If you have a problem, you're not too sure about something, you don't gossip. You don't start spreading this stuff through the organization. You go to your leader and say, I have a little concern, and then your leader will resolve it and it's all good, just as they do in the military. Imagine, again, why do they have officers club, enlisted club? Because when the officers go to their club, they can let their hair down, they can drink, they can talk about situations. They don't want the enlisted people to know they let their hair down, or maybe they're feeling maybe just a little insecure about something's about to come up. Because when they go to war, those enlisted people are depending and looking at their generals, their colonels, their officers to lead them. And if they had seen them, if they'd all been together, all griping, all socializing, all complaining together, then when they went to battle, they would be, I don't know. I remember him having one too many drinks. I don't know. Can he really lead us into battle? So always follow the chain of command. And if you have an issue, just call your leader, but never go down, because then people get insecure and get nervous and get scared. They're not as strong as you, right? You're a strong leader. You're the leader of the pack. And so with that, I hope that it gave you a few words of wisdom tonight. And I want you to remember to dream big, work hard, stay focused, surround yourself with good people, and especially put the people who have the grit in your pocket, and spend 80% of your time with your top 20% leaders who will attract other leaders who bring in other leaders who bring in thousands of people, and your business will soar so quickly that you will wake up one day and say, wow, this really works. Thank you, and have a happy Tuesday.